Good morning, Rapid Freaks. Lexi Hotz here. It is Sunday morning, and I'm reacting to the Raptors losing in the semifinals of the 2025 NBA Las Vegas Summer League. Yeah, it's just, there's a couple things they could have done differently where they might have won this game. It was very close. Allowing the Kings to blow them out in both the first and the third quarters and trying to make it up in the second and the fourth just isn't a winning strategy. And we had no answer for Isaac Jones. Isaac Jones looked like a man among boys out there, doing whatever he wanted to with his size and strength. And unfortunately, our big men on our summer league roster were ineffective defensively and just not able to put a body on him. I mean, that would have been the adjustment, Coach Wade, that I would have called for after halftime or at any point. It's like, let's figure out how to contain Isaac Jones just to some degree. I felt like the best matchup for him was Mobo because Mobo has got a combination of speed and size to a degree. But even with Mobo, he was just losing him and make it really hard to handle him. I mean, that's what I said yesterday in the preview. The team that has the guy who goes off and scores the most points is going to win this game. And Isaac Jones put a stake on taking that for the Kings and helping them to win. This game was so close. There's a couple of different things that the Raptors could have done that would have won them the game. Very bad start. Well, put yourself in a hole right away. Put yourself in a 20-point hole in the third quarter also. So it's like you need better offensive game at certain times consistently throughout the whole entire game. That, the dead offense in the first quarter and the third quarter also absolutely destroyed us. But the fact that our defense in the second and fourth quarters could go crazy, forcing 10 turnovers in the fourth quarter, just going crazy, making up big deficits and coming back, hurry up and make it up at the end. That's not the way to do it. You guys got to spread out the quality the whole 40 minutes in a summer league game, 48 in a regular season game. You got to spread it all out. And, people didn't show up. Literally, AJ Lawson, if he had just played, that might have been the difference in us winning for sure. Not having AJ was a huge problem. And I know he was abducted. He had an abductor strain. But still, I hate that. I wonder what would have happened if AJ Lawson would have played. I wonder what would have happened if we hadn't started Shamshay. Honestly, that was a big mistake right there. I didn't agree with that. I felt like Shamshay's not ready to get in the starting lineup like that because, he did not do anything defensively to stop Isaac Jones. In some ways, this is something that Shamshay is going to have to learn. We went through a summer league where it looked like Shamshay is ready to play in the rotation for the Raptors to the end there. It looked like, no, he's not ready. He's not ready. He's going to have to play on 905 more this year. If he had shown a one-on-one low post defensive presence that shut down Isaac Jones last night, if he had done that, I would have been like, yeah, he's ready. But he couldn't do it. He didn't stop him. He was an open door. There was no coverage on Jones. Jones was able to do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. And Shamshay was ineffective as a defender. He may have been a good team defender at times, but a horrible individual defender last night on Isaac Jones. And then Castleton absolutely continuing to be ineffective and horrible this summer league. And he could have, this is the thing, Castleton, you had one last chance last night to do something. And this could have been a huge thing that you could have done last night. If you had been able to try and stop Isaac Jones, you probably would have played more minutes than you did last night if you were effective. But alas, all three of the Raptors' big men were ineffective against Isaac Jones, and Isaac Jones ate our lunch. That's just how it is. A lot of things like, once again, the bigger team will beat the littler team. That's the thing. Overall, the Sacramento Kings were a bigger team at each position than we were, and they showed it. They played like it. And, it wasn't like they were super, super great. We did a good job really harassing them. Our defense was very solid at times, but also at the same time, our offense was absolutely horrible and ineffective and just none for periods of time. You can't get in this game and be down 20-2 right from the start. You can't be in this game with like 3 minutes to go in the third quarter and you're down 22 points. This kind of shit is just Not good for winning. And, it's amazing that y'all clawed back and made it so close at the end. You really could have won it. I was hoping y'all would figure it out at the end. But alas, the Kings and their coach, their summer league coach from Toronto, uh, just did what they do in the whole game. Isaac Jones, close it out. Do what you do. Manhandle them. Be like the Shaq of this game, Shaquille O'Neal vibes, because nobody can do nothing to stop you. And yeah, go to that right at the end. It was also telling that 3 of the Raptors fouled out in this game. This is the first summer league game the Raptors played this summer league where fouls counted. And all the other games, it's like, yeah, you get 7, 8 fouls. It doesn't matter. But this one mattered. And 3 guys fouled out, and they were key guys. Like Jacoby fouling out was huge. Jacoby could have been huge to help us in the last couple minutes. Chucky Hepburn fouled out. That's crazy. Chucky Hepburn fouled out. And then, of course, also Shamshay fouled out without even scoring a damn point. That's crazy. So, yeah, it's a tough game. It's a tough game. We could look at all kinds of different things. Some of us in the Discord were also saying maybe the Raptors were just kind of tired after a whole week of playing in Vegas. They didn't travel at all. They played 5 games every other day for 10 days in Vegas and didn't leave. And there's a lot of distractions in Vegas. There's a lot of different things going on in Vegas. And maybe there's just a fatigue of being in Vegas by the end of it. I mean, their pop and their get after it energy was not the same last night as it was in the first game of Summer League. Nah, not at all. It seemed like they were a little worn down from Vegas life, Sin City life, and being around that atmosphere can be probably tiring, even without the travel in between games. And also, let's not forget, playing a game every other day for over a week, that's tiring too. Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, all right in a row in a week. It's tough. It's a tough thing. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to see the whole picture and analyze after the game. How did the Raptors lose? Why did they lose? It seemed like they were really bad at starting games the last 2 games, like coming out totally flat, no offensive at all. And I blame Castleton again for this because in some ways we needed him to be that big man in the post that could get easy baskets to get our scoring going. He really lost a big, huge opportunity in the summer league. And man, I worry about the guy. I worry about him. Now, if you were doing this on purpose because you're trying to avoid being on the Raptors, well, you shot yourself in the foot because you look so bad to the whole entire league. I don't know where you're going to fall this year. Or you're going to play possum, and then you're going to come out, and when you show up at Osceola Magic, you're going to be gangbusters and playing a different level again, Colin Castleton? I don't know. Either way, I don't care. Just get you out of my face. If that guy's in our training camp, I'm going to be like, why are you wasting your time? Seriously. Why are you wasting your time, Raptors, if you're inviting this guy to training camp? Y'all should be cutting him in the next couple of days. I'm not going to lie. You need to cut him immediately because it's not a fit. Obviously, if he can't do it on summer league at this level, he's not going to be able to do it for us in regular season. And I don't want to waste time with him on 905 either. Nah, it ain't like that. That's right. All right, let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. I've got the 3 stars of the game and a loss. I got the straight goods on Canadian goods, the Instagram stories, the birthdays, the classic card, all the regular segments on the Raptor Freak stream. Plus, we're going to react to the game with the team stats and all kinds of other stuff you guys want to talk about the game last night. And the loss, the narrow loss, the close loss to the Sacramento Kings in the semifinals of the Summer League. That's right. Trevor Jay's first in. He was the man on the scene. And actually, Trevor was at both games last night for the semifinals. He stuck around and watched the Charlotte Hornets kick the shit out of the Thunder also afterwards. So it'll be the Hornets versus the Kings for the Summer League Championship tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. That is what is going on now. Those are the championships. The Thunder got beat. They got beat bad. It was 29-point loss to the Hornets. Very interesting. Trevor's saying for his words of wisdom this morning, spend your time on those who love you unconditionally. Do not waste it on those who only love you when the conditions are right for them. Wow. Yeah. It's tough to find the right people in your life because, you can find the right person as a person. But that doesn't mean that you can be with them because there's other things around them that may keep you from being with them. And I hate that. Just find your right person. That's what I say. I love you, Trevor. Thank you, man. Man, I'm telling you, man, this week's been tough for me. I'm not gonna lie. This week has been tough for me, man. All right, let me keep going. Basketball has been a good distraction. Let's just put it that way. Trevor's saying, I'm so proud of this team. We did not just lay down and die. We fight all the way to the end, but Sacramento's a very big team, lots of size. Yeah, yeah. Trevor, I'm glad you're proud of them. I'm proud of them too. Any Raptor fan that is going on a negative tangent this morning and dissing our team or saying shit about them not winning last night, pause. There's no reason to do this. Our summer league has been extremely successful. We've been one of the best teams at summer league, and only one team's going to win. And you know what? 4-1 record, and all the promise and the progress we've seen from different players and different things happening. A lot of it is just fantastic. You know, James Wade was an exemplary coach at Summer League. I thought he did a great job, and it was fantastic. He got thrown out at the end of the game. He did a really good job. That was one of the most epic ejections ever in the history of basketball anywhere. Seriously, the fact that he went through and dapped the whole entire Sacramento team on the way out, that's just amazing stuff, man. Seriously. And I like that he pointed at all three of the refs, Agana Bazi, Italo Rujo, and Gina Catanzariti. Yeah, you deserve that little finger pointed at both all y'all because you were a little biased against us yesterday. You really were. Now, I know the Raptors play a very physical, clamp down defense that's going to foul a lot. But y'all were very, very happy with the foul calls on us, as evidenced by three of our players fouling out. You know, did any of the Kings foul out? No. And were there a lot of them doing the same kind of stuff that we were doing at times? Yes. So, yeah, we felt a little picked on. I mean, we got the same amount of free throw shots, right around the same amount, but there were more fouls called on us in general. And a lot of that was on plays like in transition and, you know, non-shooting fouls. But still, you know, the fact that three of our guys fouled out, none of their guys really were in foul trouble. Yeah, it was annoying. And James Wade had a real gripe when he went off on all y'all at the end of the game. But what an epic ejection. I've never seen a guy go through and dap everybody like that, do all this. It was really cool. James Wade, man, you're awesome, bro. I love that, man. I'm proud of them too, Trevor, because like they fought really hard the whole entire time, even if they were offensively ineffective at times, really, really bad on offense at times. The fact that they went 4-1 without really, you know, good offensive stuff is really impressive. Really, really impressive. Yeah, Sacramento's size was definitely a factor yesterday. Isaac Jones in particular. That's right. Trevor J saying that Shed is a bulldog. And Jacoby, Raptors young guys get some experience on how to win a game. We have a group of dogs this season. Well, Darko recently quoted Kobe Bryant's quote after losing. When the reporter asked Kobe Bryant, "How do you feel about losing in this game right now?" And Kobe says, "I feel great because this is something about the process about how to win is you got to lose first, and you got to learn how it feels, and you got to learn how to avoid it." And well, Jacoby Walter is feeling that losing from last night, but it's all part of the process. And him and Shed are going to figure it out, and they're going to be better for this. For that game last night. They're going to be better for this. Of course, Jamal Shed is my number one star of the game. Jamal really was carrying us at different times of the game, especially in the third quarter. You know, he willing us back into the game. Amazing game by Shed. 30 minutes for Shed with 24 points, 9 of 16 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, 4-4 at the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 12 assists, 1 steal. He did have 5 turnovers, a +3. Yeah, Shed was really, really the one who was trying the hardest to get us back into this game the best way. And it's too little too late. I love him getting into the lane, making the floaters, just being aggressive and, you know, hitting an important 3 here, you know, just being aggressive. And we needed that. We needed that from both him and Jacoby. Unfortunately, Jacoby was a little bit less effective. In some ways, Jacoby was very sloppy the last couple games for the Raptors. It seems like maybe the fatigue of Vegas was getting him a little bit because he wasn't as clean playing as he usually is in the last 2 games. There's a lot of weird mix-ups and mistakes that normally Jacoby's avoiding and doing really well on. But yeah, Shed's our number one star of the game in the loss with a double-double. 24 points, 12 assists, but 5 turnovers. I mean, Shed was everything at different times. He was the first guy kind of getting us going, scoring in the beginning. Well, Jacoby kind of the end of the first, making 8 points real fast on 2 threes and then another basket. Shed kind of, making things happen in the second, getting us going, and then really trying to carry us in the third when we're futile at that point. Man, he was really important. Really, really important, Jamal Shed last night. Trevor's saying he stayed back and watched the OKC get their ass kicked by Charlotte Hornets. Did not even have a chance to come close. Win by 29. Yeah. Brandon Carlson and the champion Thunder got their butts kicked by the Hornets, and their game wasn't as close as ours. The announcers for our game, Corey Alexander, first of all, big 2-finger salute for you, sir. He's a Raptor hater. He's always been a Raptor hater. He talks so much trash about the Raptors on the down low. Yeah, I can't stand Corey Alexander. He's a really, really bad announcer for Raptor games. Yeah, I didn't like the announce crew last night. They were jabronis. Let's just put it that way. They were being jabronis. Yeah, let's keep going. Trevor's saying WNBA All-Star game, Collier's team, Nafisia Collier's team, the most points in an All-Star game in history, 36 points for her. Wow. All-Star captain with a win, All-Star scorers record, and MVP of the game. Yeah, that wasn't even close. And I don't even think it had anything to do with Caitlin Clark not playing, the captain of her team. Collier's team just ran away with this right from the start. In some ways, this WNBA weekend is not going well in some ways on the down low. In some ways, it's like that game is not exciting. That game is a blowout, and in some ways, it's a glorified exhibition, and it's a little bit reminiscent of the bad All-Star games in the NBA in the last couple of years, the WNBA All-Star game. Also, I don't know. I mean, I understand, ladies, that you're trying to make a statement, but I don't think at the beginning of the game and the statement that you're making was the right time. In some ways, y'all are new. You're a new product, and you don't want to turn off new viewers right from the start. We get it. You guys are not getting paid correctly. But wearing those shirts in the warm-up and making a big deal out of it, at this time, man, you guys got to get a couple years down where you're solid and doing really well before you start doing stuff like that, because you're going to turn off new viewers by wearing that shirt. I know that it's fair, and you're exactly right. But some people that are casuals, some people that don't really take the WNBA totally seriously will tune in, and they'll see you guys wearing your shirts and practice warm-up. And they'll be like, they don't deserve this. They barely make any money to survive anyway. Why are they demanding more money? They are subsidized by the NBA. A lot of casual fans think this is true still, but it's not totally true. They get their own money. The NBA is not helping them out as much as people think. But because casual fan does not know that, they're going to just see this and they're going to be like, well, you guys don't earn your money anyway, women of the WNBA. So why are you defending? Well, the thing that they don't know is that the owners are making mint off of the WNBA players, and they're not getting paid the right percentage. And that's why they're wearing those shirts. You could also say on a bigger level, they're wearing those shirts just as a general statement for women in the workplace in general around the world. Pay us what we're worth. Pay us what we are supposed to be paid. And I agree with that. I agree with what their statement is. I agree with all of it, but I don't think the timing was right, because there's new eyes on the WNBA and you're trying to get new fans. You don't want to turn them off right at the start. Somebody may have tuned in last night to watch the WNBA All-Star game, and they saw that message and they're like, well, what is this spoiled crap? And they turned it right back off. I'm just saying the optics weren't good for this timing for this. I get it. You guys want to make a statement, but y'all are so fresh and new to a big, huge audience. You don't want to screw that up by doing that exactly that way. So I think it was a miscalculation. Who knows? Hopefully the statement worked or something like that. I don't know. But in some ways, your beef is privately with the owners. It's not with the fans. It's not with this. And if you really feel so strongly about getting a higher percentage of the profits from WNBA, why did you just boycott the game? That's what the forefathers of the NBA did at All-Star games to make sure that they got paid correctly. Bill Russell and all them said, we're not playing the All-Star game until you guys agree to give us the proper percentage of profits for this league that we should get as the players. And I mean, it's a tough situation all around. I feel like it was a big, huge party. But once again, I feel like the WNBA commissioner in her office does a very poor job in some ways of forming and formulating the product for the WNBA. And in some ways, y'all need to be a little bit better about some of the stuff you're doing. You know, All-Star weekend, In some ways, if it's like the NBA's All-Star Weekend, that's not good. Let's just put it that way. It's not good if it's like the NBA All-Star Weekend. You should be better than the NBA All-Star Weekend and innovative, different than them, and doing stuff that makes it go, wow, that's really cool and that's interesting. But yeah, really good game for Collier and her team. Absolutely destroying Clark's team. It's not even close. And that in some ways is not good for the WNBA also, that it was not a competitive game. It was a rout from the start. And the whole entire game is like, who's going to tune in and watch that? Just to showcase, to see the stars? Okay. But if the game's not competitive and one team's not keeping their weight and trying to run with things, that's bad for the league. Seriously. So in some ways, it's like, I know Adam Silver is writing storylines and stuff like that. Maybe Kathy shouldn't, but in some ways, maybe there's some things you need to have quality control on. And like the Clark team did not pull their weight and they got their ass kicked and they made it a game that wasn't even interesting because it was a blowout. And that's too bad. That's too bad because you're getting more and more eyes on things. And it doesn't help that the person that everybody wants to see is not playing. Caitlin Clark, you know what? If you really give a shit about making this league even bigger, even if you're a little bit hurt, you should have fucking played. Seriously. Because a lot of people are trying to see you and they want to see you. And if you're not showing up, I mean, listen, Jordan and his if he was your position, he would show up and play even if he was hurt. I don't give a shit if it's the All-Star game is the exhibition. You guys are in your early infancy of getting new popularity and you need to build it. You don't need to be DNPing. I don't care if it's like if it was a very serious injury. Okay, maybe. But if it's just because you didn't feel like playing the All-Star game because you had a nagging injury or a little injury, you should have showed up and played because you are the cash cow for the WNBA. And if you're not there, that's a problem. Seriously. In some ways, you need to be there. There's a little bit more pressure on you, Clark, because you're the face of the league and you should have played, honestly. If you had like some ticky-tack injury and you didn't play, that's not good. That's not good right there. I don't know what she was hurt about, how she was hurt, though. Trevor's saying Shed had a strong performance in the last game. He took it to the team who selected him in the 2024 draft and then traded him to the Raptors. Okay. Yeah, I don't even think about all that. I mean, let's not even bring up that the Kings technically drafted Jamal Shed. Who cares? He was traded to us immediately. We drafted him because we made the pick because we wanted him. And Kings just were the team we got the pick from. And that was part of the Sasha Venchenkoff deal, right? That was part of that whole deal that we did with Sacramento for Jalen McDaniels. So it's like, yeah, I don't even remember this. It's not like Shed has any anger towards Kings because they drafted him and then traded him to us. No, that's not what this is. Shed was doing that just because he was trying to win. He has no anger towards the Kings. He should be happy. The Kings helped him get to where you need to go to, facilitate the trade. So, yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with that. Anything to do with that. Seymour Papes here. Good to see the Sheriff. I'm with Coach Wade on this one. Fuck them refs. Yeah, I wanted to figure out who the refs were. I knew the ball guy was Agana Bazi. I know him from G League games with 905. I've seen Agana Bazi. I get Claire Aubrey and Gina Catanzariti mixed up. I thought that the last game, Gina Catanzariti was Claire Aubrey, but Claire Aubrey was the last game. And then this game was Gina Catanzariti. Now, Gina Catanzariti looked like a very young and experienced ref. In fact, she didn't understand how technical free throws work at one point. When Wade got thrown out, cussing and yelling, oh, he was so good. He really made it count. And it was epic. And it was the right time to do it. And it was a good statement. She didn't realize that she wanted to try and get them to line up for the second free throw. Gina, you need to know the rules. Seriously. Yeah, everybody should know the rules of the NBA, especially the referees. But you don't understand that on a second technical free throw, you don't get the rebounders to come down there still because technical is a technical. And technicals don't have guys in the lane for rebounding. Yet she was motioning for them to go down there and stand down in the lane for the second technical free throw on James Wade. But that was not the right case. And there's a confusing moment. In some ways, the referees really fucking need to know the rule book inside and out more than anybody else. Because if they're confused and they're not understanding what to do, well, that's a real bad thing. Seriously. Y'all need to know your rules, Gina and the rest of the refs. I mean, there were a couple of times in this summer league where the refs did not know what the fuck they were doing all of a sudden. And I know some of it is that they're using FIBA refs with G League refs, with WNBA refs, and a couple of NBA refs mixed in with it. It's like they're getting refs from 4 different places and having them work together. I mean, we had a FIBA ref, we had a WNBA ref, and we had a G League ref last night. And that's a mix. But yeah, she should know that. She should know that you don't line up for technical free throws at the lane. You don't. I mean, those are little signs. When you see that kind of shit, you're like, man, I don't have total confidence in the refs and what they're doing and understanding the rules, because they should know the rules through and through. Every little obscure rule that they don't have to use hardly ever. They have to use sometimes. Yeah, they need to know those rules. That's all your job is, NBA refs. That's all your job is. I'm with Coach Wade too, man. What a style points for his exit, his ejection, 10 out of 10. That man did it right. Dapping everybody, dapping the water boy at the end of the Kings bench on his way out, dapping the other teams waiting in the concourse. Come in, Charlotte. Dabbing everybody, waiting, coming up through the rows of the crowd. Trevor J, did you get a dap from James Wade on the way out too? Because it seemed like he wanted to hit everybody on the way out and really milk that exit. That's my coach. That's my coach, Coco. That's right. That's right. I'm with him too. Seymour saying, where was AJ Lawson? He was abducted. Yeah, I hate it when guys get abducted. He was sitting on the bench in a purple shirt. I hate it when guys get abducted all of a sudden, like Colin Murray Bowles got abducted before the first Summer League game. Yeah, it's an abductor strain. Abductor strain. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever the reason why they sat AJ out, well, it was a miscalculation. We needed that man. That man would have made it up, and that man would have been the difference, and that man would have meant a W for the Raptors. It's too bad, honestly. What can you do? Hindsight's 2020. They didn't want to play AJ last night. AJ was not able to play. I don't know if that's true, but yeah, the calculation was made, and it wasn't a good calculation. And in some ways, I wish AJ Lawson had played last night. Yeah. Why did both Joneses look over the age of 30 for the Kings? Look like men amongst boys. Yeah, Isaac Jones played for the Kings last year. This is the thing. Some of these teams that made the semifinals in the Summer League are all teams that had players that played for their teams last year. You know, Charlotte had some players on their team. They have a lot of rookies, but they had some players that played on their team last year, obviously, because Charlotte's horrible. Of course, there's going to be young guys that are going to be playing that have NBA experience from last year. Of course, our team, vast experience from last year. A lot of rookies from last year playing on our team. Same thing for Sacramento. Same thing for Oklahoma City. So Sacramento's Isaac Jones played rotation minutes for the Kings last year. He was out there playing for the Kings during the season, and he was playing against the big boys with the big size. And, you know, he was having some success in the big league. Well, in this ecosystem, he's a big fish in a small pond. He can really dominate. And that's the thing. We didn't have nobody stepping up. James Wade, why couldn't you have a little talk with Mr. Shamshay? Why couldn't you maybe light a fire under Mobo's ass? Or Castleton, hey, this is your last shot, bro. You want to try and make something of yourself this summer league? Go stop that man Isaac out there. None of that happened. And in some ways, that was a weakness of James Wade, that he did not make an adjustment to stop Isaac Jones at any time this whole entire game. I don't know. If you can't beat him one-on-one and he's beating your big men by going around him with speed and he's beating your small guys by bullying them with size, maybe you should start throwing double teams at him. Maybe you should start doing other things to try and stop him. You know, you guys do, you know, that's the thing. Somebody gets a hot hand, you need to try and stop him. You should not let him try and get almost 40 points and absolutely dominate your team looking like Shaquille O'Neal. No, you need to throw the kitchen sink at him, James Wade. What are you doing, bro? Maybe we just didn't have the size. We had imposter bigs. We did not have any real bigs. And even though on the paper we did have 3 bigs, what the fuck were they doing? Jonathan, hello. You say you can guard any of the toughest assignments in the NBA. You're ready to guard Nikola Jokic. You're ready to guard Joel Embiid, but you're not ready to guard Isaac Jones? Like, seriously, Mobo. Like, bro, you in some ways had the most experience to try and do this. Castleton maybe had the best height, and maybe Shamshay had the best strength, but those guys are green, and they ain't doing it. So, Mobo, it's time for you to get that eye of Scotty Barnes of the Tiger and take the tough assignment and shut that man down. But no, alas, nobody stopped him right up until the end. And he dominated right up until the end and made the last couple baskets to help the Kings beat us. It is what it is, man. That's what I'm saying. It is what it is. James is saying, I didn't catch the game. How did CMB play? This is really interesting what happened with Colin Murray Boyles in this game last night. This was a game where he could have jumped out and did something, but in some ways he was overshadowed by Isaac Jones and made to look small around him. The very beginning of the game, Colin was guarding Isaac, and he actually guarded him really, really well, but he only guarded him on one little attempt. The first attempt, he made a miss. But then Isaac collected the offensive rebound, and Colin was out of position because he had been bumped out, and he just put the ball in the hoop. So the second attempt on defense to guard him was not there by Colin Murray Boyles. Now, he had 2 impressive blocks in the first quarter. He did some shit that looked like Barkley. Barkley's a little guy who get up there and block taller men, and Colin Murray Boyles got that too. And he did it twice in the first quarter, but then he really disappeared for the rest of the game. Colin was playing very aggressive and strong in the first quarter, but they were doing so bad. He got out of the game, and then he never really came back into the game. And it's too bad because there was opportunities for Murray Boyles to go off and actually show that he's more of a man in this game because we needed somebody to do it. But he didn't do it, alas. His game, he ended up with only 4 points on 2 of 5 shooting. He missed both his threes. He missed both his free throws. He only had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers, a -21 for Colin Murray Boyles with 23 minutes on the court. Just super ineffective. Really, really showing that he was young. And like I said, I think Isaac Jones, being a man out there, made a lot of people look like little boys. And sadly, Murray Boyles was one of them. I wish he had answered the challenge. Who cares if this guy's bigger than you, Colin? You go and show him how Barkley used to go and climb big men to dunk it on their heads. It didn't happen, though. It didn't happen. And, well, Colin's going to learn. In some ways, it's like he passed up some opportunities last night. He could have taken it, but he didn't. He didn't. Trevor's saying the refs did F us in the fourth. They didn't want us to win. That's what Stargate was really upset about on the Discord server when we're watching it. I was like, man, we can't do this. He's saying they always screw us over because we're Toronto. I don't think that's what this was, guys. It's not because we were Toronto, but maybe because of our offensive defensive scheme. They're going to call more fouls because we are more aggressive and we're getting in there with our hands. If we try and play that way, like in the beginning of the summer league, we're not tired. In the first game, the swipes that are clean and actually hit the ball out of people's hands and they're clean and don't get called, well, it's easier when you have a lot of stamina and you're not as tired and worn down. Now you get the 5th game in 10 days and you guys are swiping the same way you were doing in the first game. You're not as on top of things and your energy's not as good. You might swipe and hit fouls more. And that's part of it. I mean, we have such an aggressive defense. The refs could call a foul every single time if they really, really wanted to, honestly, at times. So that's part of the symptoms of it. But in fact, I don't like it. And that's why Wade got thrown out, is because they took 3 of our players out, fouled out, including Jacoby Walter, who's absolutely one of our most important scorers. And then a big man like Shamshay, who could have been maybe helpful at the end, blocking out Isaac Jones right at the end. And that's tough. What is a team supposed to do when they lose 3 players fouling out and the other teams got full strength still? It is what it is. The refs were not totally fair, but I'm not going to blame the refs because the Raptors didn't play good enough to beat them. And they honestly had their chances. If they didn't get in the hole like they did in the beginning of the game, they don't get in a hole in the third period also and start being their worst enemy. You know, they win this game. There's a couple of different outcomes and scenarios in alternate universes where the Raptors win this game. AJ Lawson plays, they win. They don't start so shitty in the first, they win. They don't play so bad in the third, they win. You know, there's all kinds of, they figure out a chance to slow down Isaac Jones, they win. It's this close. It's like we are nowhere near like their size and our offensive aptitude, not that great, but we still have this close of a chance to win at the end of the game. That's amazing. So there's a lot of different breaks that could have gone our way. Sure, the refs were a factor and they didn't help us. No, they didn't. But we can't blame them. We didn't play well enough to win. And that's it right there. That's it right there. Kaz is here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Free Crew. Good morning to you, Trucker Kaz. Good to see you, man. Seymour saying Ulrich fouled out 0 points. He's very young and raw. Give him time. Yeah, that was tough to see, man. That was tough to see with Ulrich Shamshay. It is what it is. It be what it be. This is learning experience, and that's what Jacoby Walter is taking the lesson as now. That's what he's taking as. My second star of the game last night is Mobo. I feel like even though Mobo didn't do some of the things I described earlier in the stream. He was solid, even though he was a +1, which was good. They won while he was on the court. 24 minutes for Mobo, 3 of 5 shooting, 1 of 4 at the free throw line. I wish you'd made a couple of your free throws. 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 turnover, 7 points for Jonathan Mobo. I mean, shouldn't be the second star of the game. I should have somebody in double digits, but really, honestly, nobody was playing good enough in certain ways. And in some ways, I'll give Jonathan Mobo the second star of the game for being active, for trying his ass off, for being mostly pretty good on the court. But I wish he could have shut down Isaac Jones. I wish he could have. My third star of the game for yesterday is Elijah Martin. Elijah Martin was a winning player out on the court in the second half, sparking some key runs for the Raptors with 10 points, 2 of 6 from the shooting, 1 of 4 from 3, 5 of 6 to the free throw line, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 3 steals, 1 block, 1 turnover, a +6 for Elijah Martin. So, yeah, my 3 stars of the game, Jamal Shed, Jonathan Mobo, and Elijah Martin. I felt like those 3 guys were helping us to try and win the best. The best, yeah. Maybe an honorable mention for Jamison Battle on 4 of 8 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 turnover, a -22, though, the worst on the team, with 10 points for Jamison. Also an honorable mention for Coco Wade. I'm going to give an honorable mention to the coach for his outstanding ejection. But yeah, really, really tough game. And we'll go over the guys who I didn't mention and why they were kind of bad. Like Shamshay, 0 points in 16 minutes, fouled out with 6 fouls, real quick, 0 of 3 from the field, 7 rebounds, though, with 3 turnovers. Yeah, just a tough game for Shamshay, a learning game for him. That's right. A lot of flat shots. Mobo airball from the free throw line in clutch time was a dagger to my heart. Yeah, those free throws missed by Jonathan at the end were momentum killers. They were kind of like deflating. And yeah, they didn't help. And losing by 10 at the end, I mean, it was closer than 10. It's just the Kings, were more effective at the end in certain ways. It's tough. That game, in some ways, all those guys, Coach Wade, we all want another chance from that one, because that one seems like that one just went awry. And it seems like there were ways we could have won that game. There really were. Trevor's saying, I will be here in Vegas until 1 more week for work. Just drop in, but not that early. Okay. So Trevor J is going to still continue to be in Vegas after the Summer League because he has a trade show that he's working in his profession. And he was going to be there anyway. So he just came early for Summer League. So that's cool. That's cool. Seymour saying the look on Castleton's face said it all. He knows he's a man out. It was not too late for you to do something. And that's the problem, man. You didn't get to start, which I don't totally agree with. I think they should have started him or Jonathan, not Shamshay. That was a big mistake, starting Shamshay. He wasn't ready for that. And he was a huge problem at the beginning of the game because he was not helping us in any kind of way. He was just fouling. So I didn't agree with putting Shamshay in over Castleton. Even though Castleton's been garbage, we stick with what's been working. And this change in the starting lineup, maybe I'm superstitious. But, man, you shouldn't have switched Shamshay in for Castleton. If you were going to take Castleton out, you should have put Mobo in the starting lineup. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I didn't agree with any of that. Now, they did do a pretty good job on Renault. They didn't let him go off from outside. They were shadowing him outside pretty good. But he did still get his points here and there. Maxim Renault, not totally killing us. It really was Isaac Jones mostly. Neat Clifford didn't really kill us. None of the other Kings were killing us. It was just that big man Isaac that was killing us last night. Yeah. Castleton, man, you still had a chance. You needed to grab that brass ring and run with it, bro, but you didn't. You were a dud. Absolute dud. Kaz is saying Ulrich still needs to be on 905. Yeah. Anyone that thought he was going to be in the rotation of the big club this year, I don't know what to tell you. People were getting too hyped. Well, it looked like that, Kaz. You can't totally get onto us for thinking that he might be in the rotation for some of the work he's done at Summer League this summer, because there were some jumps and strides, from Shamshay, but they're also showing where he's still lacking. And I think the biggest thing he's lacking on right now is individual defense. He's a great team defender. He covers a lot of space. He's great in the zone. But on one-on-one defenses, man-on-man defense, he's not right yet. He's not right. He's losing his man. His man's outsmarting him, and he's getting beat too easy. So, Shamshay, you got to be a better one-on-one defender. You've got to find people like Jones and shadow him and just fucking shut him down. You had the frame and the size and the speed to do it. You could have done it, but you just didn't have the know-how. So that may be the next thing that they got to teach him is to get him really good on one-on-one defense with premium bigs in the NBA. Yeah. Yeah, that looks like it. And I think you're right, Cass. In some ways, we're worrying about the crazy amount of talent on the Raptors and who's going to be the rotation. Shamshe's not ready to be rotation on the Raptors. No, he's not. He's going to have to be primarily on the 905, and he'll get spot duty up on the big club from time to time. And that's it. And, it may be at different times of the season, depending on what's going on with the season. Yeah. James is saying, Jacoby and CMB are the only players I can see in the starting lineup in the future from our bench players. I don't know if that's true. Grady could be in the starting lineup again. Oshai could be in the starting lineup again for sure. I don't know if that's totally true. I think Shamshe is going to be a starter at some point in his career. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of time ahead of these young men. And if they're going to be like Bench Mob 2.0, that means that a lot of these guys will end up being starters eventually down the road, like Jamal Shed. He might be a starter in his NBA career at some point, just like Freddie graduated to it, right? So, I mean, I think those guys are the most likely, is what you're saying. I think Grady Dix is one of them, too. We can't forget about him. So, Seymour's saying 10 p.m. Eastern time, ain't no way anybody in Toronto going to be up to watch the finals, 8 p.m. start in the Mountain Region. Yeah, I'm not watching it. I would have watched it if we were playing, but I'm not watching it at this point. I'm going to spend my Sunday evening not on basketball. That's what I'm going to do tonight. That's right. If we were in it, yeah, I'd be watching it. I was going to watch the game after if we'd won yesterday, just to scout the Charlotte Hornets and the Oklahoma City Thunder, but I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it because we lost, and that was that. That was that. Seymour saying, we with you, Lex, through the thick and the thin at times, man. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man. Listen, I've been very open in some ways about my personal life. And, Adriana and I, we've had a lot of good years together, but those years are over in a lot of ways right now. And I'm dealing with it. And I just want her to know I care about her a lot, even though she doesn't think I do, but I do. And if it was meant to be, it would have happened, but it wasn't meant to be. And it's just what it is. I got to let her go. And it's not easy. I'll tell you right now, it's not easy, y'all, because you spend 5 years of your life with someone. They become a part of you. And she's a part of me. And she always will be. And I feel like an idiot in a lot of ways. I feel like a dumbass. I feel like I fucked up. But you know what? We're human. And we go through life and we make decisions. Sometimes those decisions are tough, but you don't always understand why you make the decision, but you have to. Because there's no future. And that's the problem right there. I'm at the point where her family absolutely hates me, and I have no choice. I have no future with her because they will never ever let her be with me. And in some ways, there was never ever a chance for a city girl like her to be with a countryman like me. And that's just the sad truth. And I love her. I always love her. And I'll always be there for her if she needs me. But in some ways, we have to stay away from each other because it's not going to be what I wanted it to be. What I wanted to build it towards, it's not going to ever get there. So I have to let it go. Or I can't have a new future, one that I want, unless I do this. And she knows this, and she's amazing. She's a powerful, strong woman who can have whatever she wants in her life. I just don't want the people around her to get in the way of what she wants. And they do. They get in the way of what she wants. And I hate that. She shouldn't have to deal with her family that way, where they're getting in the way of what she wants. She needs to be able to go and be an adult for herself. And they need to stop holding her back. That's what I would say. But I love her. I love you to the day I die, Adriana. You know that, all right? It's just been tough, man. This has been tough. Kaz is saying, I hope everything's okay, Lex. Sending good vibes your way. Breakups are never easy, man. And I mean, we've been broken up for a while, but we've been in certain stages of, friends still. But at this point, we can't even just be friends because we can't be anything other than what we've been. It's like we can't go to just friend level in some ways. Maybe in time we'll be able to, but in some ways the emotions and the feelings for each other are too strong, and they're not platonic. They're not platonic. And that makes it really hard to be friends after the fact. And if there's going to be room in my life for somebody new, in some ways Adriana is going to be really hard to kind of be with that person in my life, because there's strong feelings for Adriana that I cannot deny, and I will always have for her. I always will. Let's keep going. Cass saying, I don't agree with the foul change from 10 to 6. Why are we going to play with 10 fouls all summer league and then change it to 6 at the end? Fucking bullshit for real. That fucked us over big time. That's something I didn't realize they did that. And I was like, wait, they fouled out one of our players? I thought summer league was 10 fouls. And I kind of got up in arms about that. But then I realized it's like, yeah, that makes sense that in the games that matter, they go back to the regular rules. So yeah, it's tough, but it's not like we were using the 10 fouls too much in the other games. But yeah, these guys need to be better about like trying not to foul and playing better to stay in the game. And man, certain people like Shamshay, they did not do a good job with that. Chucky Hepburn, very aggressive and getting his fouls quick out there. I mean, let's look at the box score again. We'll go over Chucky, who was 1 for 4. He hit 1 3. He was 5 of 6 at the free throw line, so he got 8 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 2 turnovers, 6 fouls, fouled out in 9 minutes, man. That man got a foul almost every minute he was out there. 9 minutes on the court, he got 6 fouls. And the refs were calling him. They were on Chucky. And Chucky's normally good, man. He's not fouling people. They got him for it, though. They got him for it, and they called him for it. Let's see. Let's look at Jacoby Walter. Jacoby Walter had 19 points, and he did do a spark for us at the end of the first quarter to try and get us going. But, man, Jacoby was he was a mixed bag of some good and some bad. And there was a lot of bad in there, too. 5 of 12 from the field, 3 of 10 from 3, 6 of 6 at the free throw line, which was good. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, 2 turnovers. He fouled out. Yeah, Jacoby was one of the ones that fouled out. And, that was bullshit. That was kind of when Wade got mad, is because, now you're going to take out this guy for us, and he's one of the very important players for us? Yeah, that's bullshit. I'll look at the other side, and let's see. Did any of the Kings be in foul trouble? Nick Clifford was. He had 5 fouls, and he did have to sit out parts of the game. Isaac Jones only had 4, and Dylan Cardwell had 4 off the bench. But, yeah, 21 fouls called on the Kings, and meanwhile, the Raptors got 32. So we got 11 more fouls called on us than the Kings. I mean, I don't want to blame the refs. The Raptors didn't play good offensively. That's why we lost. The Raptors did not play good offensively. That is why we lost right there. Right there. Yeah, salute to the sheriff and salute to Trucker Kaz. I like that. Kaz saying they want to get paid more and then put that on that performance. Slap my ass, the WNBA players. They should be getting paid more. Their message is right. They should be getting paid more because the percentage of what the owners of the WNBA teams is making is not right compared to what they should be paid. And that's it. They're not getting their fair share. I knew it when they made the deal recently. The owners really screwed over the Players Association of the WNBA, and they did not give them the right percentage of the profits. So that's why they're complaining. It's really just what they're saying. It's just that in some ways the message and the way them signaling and all that stuff, it didn't come off right in some ways to some people, because most people are not educated on the situation with the deal. In some ways, the money just got big all of a sudden. And then in some ways they didn't clue in on how much the broadcasting deal was going to be for the WNBA. So the players are getting a small percentage that they should be getting way more. The owners are raking it in. So I'm totally on the players' side. They're right in what they're saying. It's just the timing was off. And maybe they did it at a time when they should have like educated more of the public on what their struggle is in this situation. And the game was not good. That was bad, but that's a separate thing. Seymour saying drove 3 hours after work up to E-Town, Edmonton, and people were talking about Caitlin all night. I see Edmonton getting a WNBA team in the future, back in Calgary now safely. Interesting. So you went up to Edmonton, and you think that Edmonton's going to get a WNBA team? Wow, I would think that your city might get one first, but maybe that's not right. Maybe Edmonton's a better WNBA market than Calgary. I could see that. I mean, we have had some WNBA over there, right? Didn't we have a WNBA game in Alberta at some point recently in the last couple of years? Interesting. After Raptors lost, I drove back pissed. 135 the whole way back. You're just speeding. You better be careful there, Sheriff. Don't get caught by another sheriff. That's right. That's right. Pissed. Pissed. Cass saying, I noticed Renault looks like a 30-year-old. He looks like the guy who sings Captain of Her Heart, like Double from the 80s. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. The captain of her heart. Da, 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 da. That's a one-hit wonder. Youngsters, if you have not heard Double, Captain of Her Heart, go listen to that smooth tune today. It'll get you in a good, nice little cool place. Yeah, yeah. The dude looks like the lead singer of Double, Maxime Renault. He looks like he's singing the captain of her heart. That's right. That's what's going on. Seymour saying, hey, Cass, if you ever need a trucking position out west, hit me up. There you go. There you go. 10-4, Seymour. I only have my DZ license, though. There you go. There you go. Oh, okay. No air brakes for you. Got it. You can upgrade at some point, maybe. Let's see. Seymour saying, I feel like Masai. I'm trying to recruit Kaz out west. Well, I mean, I don't know. He's got the family life where he's at right now. I don't know if he's interested in coming out there like that, man. I don't know if he's interested in coming out there like that for you, man. But who knows? Kaz said, I have air brakes, Seymour, but I can't drive tractor trailer, only straight truck. Okay. He's still got work for you. 10-4. If I'm out there, I will look you up. Thank you. Yeah. He's got roots here, over here, though. In some ways, he's got the family. He's got kids. He's got to think about what they want to do. He can't Dame Lillard them, right? What if he goes out there and he just starts driving the truck for you? And he leaves the family behind. He'd be very sad, just like Damian Lillard. That's right. Seymour saying it was like watching 2K. Shed was switched on to Isaac Jones over 6 times in the game, and the help was slow and not effective. Yeah, there were some. You know what? I think that Coach Wade has strengths, but there may be some weaknesses too. Let's just put it that way. I think that Coach Wade is a great motivator. I think he's a great speaker. I think that he's a fantastic kind of organizer in some ways, but maybe not the best with tactician stuff in the middle of the game, because there were adjustments that were not made in this game last night that would have been better. And honestly, I was expecting the Raptors to come out gangbusters after the halftime in the third quarter and kick major ass like they have the pattern in these games recently. It's like they get a talking to at halftime, and then the third quarter they fix things. They bust the game open. But alas, they came out in the third quarter just like in the first quarter, absolute duds. And that's no good. That's no good. Where was that halftime speech that got them going? Shed heard it, but I didn't seem like anybody else in the team heard it. None of them heard it. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Seymour saying your 3 stars is very accurate, but I have Martin as my 2nd star. Yeah, we could flip Martin for Jonathan in the order. But yeah, Shed is obviously the best player for the Raptors last night. He may be the only one who played absolutely really good. The rest of them were all kind of crap, honestly. Cass saying Castleton had so many chances and never took advantage of any. So disappointing. Yeah, man, he had 5 games to at least have one game good. Jamal had a super good game this last game. Jacoby had a really good game. Colin Murray Boyles had a really good game. AJ Lawson had a really good game. Different people have stepped up and had different good games at different times. Castleton didn't even have a medium kind of game at all. He had poor games, all 5 games. And he could have had one really good game out of the 5 games. That may have done him some justice and some consideration. But, man, not even one good game. That's it. Giannis Sky saying, hello. What's your opinion on Lorenzo Brown? Once again, Giannis Sky is bringing up a European legend, a Euro legend, and Lorenzo Brown, former Raptor. The man, it's weird. We've got a couple of these guys that were around our championship year, like Jordan Lloyd and Lorenzo Brown, that, they're on the Raptors and they have success around our team. And then they go overseas and they blow up. And they're just absolute legends on that continent. And Lorenzo Brown is a Spanish league legend. That man is a champion over there. That man is like a big deal over there. People over here wouldn't even realize it. But yeah, Lorenzo Brown, Jordan Lloyd, former Raptors that have done very, very well on that continent over there. So yeah, I like Lorenzo Brown. Of course, he wasn't a good enough NBA player, but whoa, he's real good over there playing with Marc Gasol's team, right? He's on Mark's team, right? I believe he plays for Marc Gasol's club, or he did at one point. But yeah, Lorenzo Brown, he's a legend in Spain. I know that. James is saying breakups are hard, man. Keep your head up, champ. Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, seriously, this is like, I've known Adriana since October of 2019 is when I met her. And we've been like this since October of 2019 until recently. Like seriously, it's hard when you talk to somebody every day in the morning, first thing, and then you talk to them before you go to bed every day, and you don't do that all of a sudden. It's hard. The void is felt, and that's the tough thing, man. The connection is hard to not feel, and not have her call me every morning because she's the one that calls me in the morning to make sure I get up to do this show, y'all. And she's not doing it anymore, and I understand why. I understand why. But yeah, in some ways, I gotta have my own wake up call now. I gotta set the alarm because Adriana ain't calling me anymore at 8:30 in the morning, 8:45, to make sure Lex gets up to do the Raptor Freak stream. So it's an adjustment, and I hate being like this on the stream for you guys because in some ways it's like I hide this stuff. I hide all kinds of stuff in my personal life that I'm going through from you guys on this channel, but at certain times I just gotta let it out. And right now I'm letting it out a little bit because it's so fresh and new, and I'm really having a hard time with it. I'm struggling with it. Seriously, it's not been easy. She's just been such an important part of my life, and I gotta let her go because I'm not allowed to be with her. Her parents or family don't want me to be with her, and in some ways I don't deserve to be with her at this point because of my behavior. So it's just what it is. It is what it is. I appreciate y'all giving me the words of encouragement. Stay strong. Oh, man, I'm sorry, Lex. Listen, y'all, Adriana is probably still going to be a part of our community, and I want y'all to be just as amazing and awesome towards her. There's no hard feelings. I love her very much. There's nothing toxic about her and I. Maybe about me, yeah, but not her. And she's probably going to be a part of the Raptor Freak family going forward. That's her choice, whether she wants to be. She may still be at our hangouts. She may still be involved in the chats and everything, even coming into the chat here, even though we're not together. So I want y'all to give her the proper due respect, that she's still somebody that is really important and awesome. That's all I ask of y'all. So I don't want her to lose anything. She doesn't lose anything just because we're not together anymore. She still has me as support and love, somebody who cares about her. If she wants me, I'm there for her. But in some ways, I know we need to part and not be around each other because it's healthy. It's healthy. And it's not healthy to continue in a toxic way where we're still interacting and still feeling a certain way. And in some ways, it's like, it's not fair to her. It's not fair to her. It's not fair to me either. In some ways, man, it's not fair to me either. All right, I want to change the subject. I want to clean up, and I don't want to deal with this with you guys on the air anymore. So I apologize for being an emotional man, somebody who's showing emotions. I feel like in some ways there's strength in that, even though people try to teach us that there's no strength in that, but there is. There's a lot more strength in this than being a cold, calculated piece of shit who hides it all and is just out lashing towards people. I'd much rather deal with it and get it out healthy than be toxic worse because of it. That's right. That's right. Somebody's saying her family doesn't like you. That's not right. They never accepted me, man. They never ever accepted me the whole 5 years. I was never invited to any family stuff. I was always kind of like, they never wanted her to date anyone because it's a headache, because they worry about her. They're protective of her. They get defensive. And her being involved with someone means her heart could be broken. And they don't want that for her. So they are really awful to everybody who comes around her. They are not good to people around them. In fact, they treat her father's girlfriend horrible. And like, it's just like, seriously, that family is not nice to outsiders. And they never, ever accepted me. Not to mention that they drank the hell out of alcohol, and they made me feel like a shit for being an alcoholic who can't drink. So I cussed her dad out one night. I said, I don't give a shit. I could drink you under the table, Lubomir. If you wanted to fucking see me drink, I'd drink you under the fucking table because I'm too good at alcohol, motherfucker. That's what I said to his face. I said, I'm too good at alcohol. If you saw me pick up a drink right now, I'd drink your ass under the table right now. That's why I had to quit, Lubomir. And that's why I have almost 15 years of no alcohol. So this is what I was fighting. I was coming over there and dealing with an alcoholic father who put me down for not drinking. I'm never accepted by her sister because she was an absolute C word, and she was just a jerk. The other sister's great. The older sister's fantastic. She's an amazing person. But the younger sister is absolute jerk, trying to run Adriana's life like she's her mother. Adriana is older than you, and she is your sister, and she's allowed to do what she wants to do with her life, Larissa. So you need to fuck off and stop trying to control her life, is what I'm going to say to that. Yeah, I'll air a little bit of it on here and say how I feel about it. You know, Trevor's saying, Lex, remember you still have God who loves you unconditionally, and he will never leave you or forsake you. You may not see him, but he's always with you. Remember, his love's stronger than anyone else. Yeah, Trevor. Yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. I've not always been forward with God, but I do appreciate God being there for me, man. All right, I gotta stop, man. Y'all are gonna make me fuck up this whole chat because I'm just getting too emotional, man. In some ways, this has been a tough week, and I've been holding it in. This has been going on since you saw her on the stream last Saturday. This has been a whole week of this shit. In some ways, it's like, man. All right, let me stop. Let me get back on track. Let's hold it together. Let's get it together right there. Red card. That's right. Raptor freak for life. And she is a Raptor freak. And she's a diehard Raptors fan. And you guys, we love Adriana. We always will. We always will. That's right. That's right. You don't drink either, James. You just a little weed. Me too. That's right. Same thing. That's right. All right. Let's get back on track. Lex, you're fucking up, man. You got to stop doing this, man. All right. Classic card. We'll do this next. Get this done. And then we'll stop talking about your personal life and we'll move on. And we'll get the fuck off the stream. Yeah, here we go. This is another guy. We had a guy yesterday who was on the team with this guy, and now we got this guy. So if you know who this number one pick of the NBA draft is right there, you got it, man. That's it right there. Yeah, if you got this number one pick, first name, full name answer, please. There you go. Derek Coleman, Seymour's on it. All you guys want to get in there on it. But Derek Coleman, and it's spelled correctly by the Sheriff Seymour Pape. You got it right. That's right. Derek Coleman, look at that nice card. It is on the bench. Derek Coleman's an interesting guy, man. My friend JJ, whose cousin is Mikey Moore, said he used to play with Derek Coleman all the time. And Derek Coleman was a fighter. He would beat people up in practice. Him and Jerry Stackhouse were bad news for that. Let's just put it that way. All right, let me put in Derek Coleman for the classic card, and we got Seymour Pape, the sheriff, getting it today. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm gonna give you it's a 50. That's an easy card. That's an easy card for sure. Yeah, Derek Coleman is a card of the day. Good job, man. Cass saying, wow, that's terrible. Your sobriety is an amazing achievement, something to be proud of. Man, it hasn't been easy, man. I've gone through it at different times. Stargate saying, Lex, be strong. We've all been there. You think about going through that when you have children. Yeah, think about going through that when you have children. Yeah, I feel really lucky that I didn't have any children with my ex-wife when we got divorced in 2010, and that I have never had to see her since. You know, I would never want to see my ex-wife again, but I would love to see Adriana every single day for the rest of my life still. That's a difference. My ex-wife, I actually married her, and we were supposed to have kids, but thank God we never did because I would have to still talk to her. But yeah, man, I can't imagine what that would be like with kids in the middle of it. And I do count my blessings that is something I don't have to deal with. A Stargate. Yeah. And if you've had to deal with that in your past like that, all the power to you, man. I'm feeling for you, man, from your past. That's right. Adriana is here, guys. Good morning. I love everybody. Lex, focus on the great show. Yeah, she's just an amazing person, guys. If you guys have met Adriana at our Raptor Free get-togethers, man, you know just how special and amazing and just a beautiful, amazing person she is, man. Damn it. Yeah. Seymour said, I disagree with the East being open take. Miami, New York, Detroit, Cleveland, Atlanta, Boston, Indiana, Milwaukee, Toronto, all will be hungry at the table to eat. You know, it's just that it's a different top that's coming. You know, Boston, Milwaukee, New York kind of been at the top the last couple of years, you know, but they're not going to be there. That's the thing. It's going to shift. Boston is really not going to try and win this year. They really aren't. They're going to lose a lot, and on purpose. They're going to stop playing players just to try and lose in some ways. So don't count on the Celtics maybe even being in the playoffs. I could see them trying to tank all the way down to get a very high draft pick to try and come back the year after, you know. Philly, obviously, Joel, his health is a big part of what's going to happen there. Milwaukee, I'm looking at their 12-man roster from what they've done this offseason. They're horrible. The Bucks are going to drop. I think the Bucks will be a play-in team, if not out of the playoffs, guys. That's how bad they're going to be. There's nothing guaranteed with Detroit. There's nothing guaranteed with Orlando. Atlanta, same thing. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, this Boston's going to be undersized, and they're not going to be good this year. I'm telling you right now, the Celtics are going to be bad this year. In fact, I want the Raptors to sweep them this year. I want to sweep the Celtics this year. New York's shuffled up a little bit different too, with a different coach. I don't know what to expect from them with Mike Brown. They could be not very good. I'm just saying it's wide open in some ways because there's no juggernaut. There's no top of the heap kind of player or team in the Eastern Conference that's absolutely going to dominate. You can't say that. I would say Cleveland's the closest thing to it, but they've lost key personnel also, and I don't know how that's going to affect them totally. So, yeah, the East is going to be hard. I don't know. It's not going to be as bad as the West. I think the West will be harder in some ways, especially. Yeah, Ivy's going to be back for Detroit. That will be a big factor for sure. James said, I see us making the playoffs this year. Oh, yeah, we'll make the playoffs. Brandon's promise will come true, and we'll make the playoffs. I can see that too. Let's do the Instagram stories real quick. We're doing everything out of order. Toronto Tempo Prez, Teresa Resch was part of a talk at the WNBA All-Star Weekend. Pretty cool stuff. And she's showing a lot of the pictures from the weekend and all the crowds and the good times at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis last night for the WNBA All-Star Game. The halftime show was a blast and good stuff. There's AJ Lawson with some pictures. Man, where were you yesterday? We needed you, AJ. We needed you. Jamal Shed with his line from yesterday. You can hold your head up high, Sheddy. You did your best. You did your part. And man, I wish other guys had stepped up like you had and amped it up just a little bit more. Seriously, we needed that winning kind of go on and get it like Shed had more from guys like Walter, Colin Murray-Bowles, Ulrich Shamshay, Colin Castleton. We needed that, man. You guys, where were you? Where were you? Orlando Robinson's showing himself in his stories with Bam Adebayo wearing a Miami Heat practice shirt. So I don't know. It's like now the Raptors have seen Colin Castleton. He's been a dud. And now Orlando's showing his colors as his allegiance is Miami Heat. So maybe too late to come back and say, Orlando, can we come talk to you again, please? Because we would like you to come back. Maybe come back here. He's taking his mom out to dinner. It's awesome to see her with 2 drinks in her hands. And he's in Vegas. He's got a little bit of Vegas luck with some chips. I don't know if that's an allusion to what happened last night with Colin Castleton and the Raptors. But Orlando Robinson, if you're feeling like you wanted any kind of get back or any kind of good feelings about the decision the Raptors made to go with Castleton over you, yeah, you should be feeling it right now. You deserve it. Honestly, you should have been the one playing for us in Summer League. Vin Bagnani is at the grill, the hibachi grill, and they're taking his lighter and lighting the onions. That whole thing that they do at Hibachi Grill. So there's what Vin Bagnani is. Also, he's celebrating. Maurice Cheeks has won the 2025 Tex Winter Assistant Coach Lifetime Impact Award. That's a big deal. I mean, Maurice Cheeks has been an assistant coach in the NBA for like 40 years, it feels like. Seriously. It seems like he's been an assistant coach in the NBA for like 40 years. Seriously, it's that close to that long. So it's a big deal. Mo Cheeks winning the Tex Winter Lifetime Achievement Award. There you go. Jacoby Walter with a nice black and white selection of pictures from the Summer League where he is showing up and, showing all the aspects of what was going on there and how he's building for the mistakes. Colin Murray-Boyles posting the Jacoby pictures. Sandra Mamu has a picture of the CN Tower. He's in Toronto as of last night. So he's around the city doing what he does. Elijah Martin putting on blast him and Nick Clifford, because I guess they have a connection, and he wanted to show a picture of both of them from the game last night, playing against Nick Clifford. I guess maybe they're in the same agency. He's also putting on blast Jacoby Walters' leadership pictures, his black and white pictures. Jonathan Mobo putting on blast Jacoby Walters' pictures also. SGA putting on blast Dylan Jones, the player of the game for the Washington Wizards against the Knicks. So I guess it's his old teammate from the Oklahoma City Thunder. So he's putting them on blast. Lou Dort on the red carpet at the ESPYs with the Oklahoma City Thunder, including Isaiah Hartenstein. I see him there with them there. And, of course, today's the day Lou Dort is going to be in Laval in Montreal with the Larry O'Brien Trophy from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. tonight. There's an event with Lou Dort. It's bringing home the championship to Quebec. So if you can get down there, go. Stillman was talking about going. He wasn't sure if there are tickets still available. because he wanted to go talking about it in the Discord last night. I say if you're in the area and you want to go see Larry O'Brien and Luguetz Dort, you go on and get there today because today's the day to go there if you're in Quebec. There you go. Slim Duck is posting him on a boat in the Lake Ontario, and it's like Toronto summers, and Chris is vibing with the red Solo Cup, and it seems like he's happy. I don't know. Maybe the deal is coming through soon. We're going to hear about Chris signing a free agency deal very soon, hopefully. We wish you the best, 25. We wish you the best. Savannah Hamilton and Ashley Dawkins going through all kinds of fun stuff at the WNBA game. Good stuff is happening. All kinds of – she's doing ads now for different people like DoorDash and all kinds of I think she's doing something for Maybelline also. She's got like different ads she's doing on her Instagrams right now. There she is at courtside with Ashley Dawkins with the WNBA All-Star tip-off. Of course, there was one point where Skylar Diggins was trying to get a triple-double, and this other Courtney Williams got the rebound instead, and she yelled at her. She's like, "You need to give me the ball because I'm trying to get a triple-double." It's kind of funny. That little moment where she yelled at her, Courtney Williams, "How dare you take my rebound? I'm trying to get a triple-double. Fucking rebound. Give me my fucking rebound," is what she said. That's crazy. Yeah, Toronto Tempo putting on blast the Mathurin Family Can-Am Girls Tournament, which was in Toronto and Montreal. Pretty cool that they're doing that. There's a WNBA team president panel that Teresa Resch was on. Very, very cool. There's a cool three of the iconic trio. There's the Valkyries GM and the Portland GM, along with the Toronto GM. So there's the three presidents of the new expansion teams right in a row. We see the Portland Fire's new president also. We see the president of the Valkyries. Interesting. So, yeah, WNBA All-Star Game looks like it was a fun event. It's too bad the game wasn't closer. Serge Ibaka is drinking some coconut milk, it looks like. He's in Brazil now, guys. He went from Miami down to Rio. He's in Rio now. So Serge is in Rio, and he's still putting on blast his new single out with Melanie, Shaolin. So go and check out Serge Ibaka's new music. It's awesome. Coach Andrew Jones posting the game day. And that's it. That's it for the Instagram stories for today. Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah, let's see what else you guys are saying. Wow, you guys have filled it up a bit more here on the chat since I was talking. Let's see. Why didn't AJ play? He had an abductor strain. Officially, that's what they said, that he had abductor strain. He was abducted. And I mean, that abductor strain is such a weird injury at this point. It seems like it can happen all of a sudden, and it seems like it can be gotten over pretty quick too. Depends, unless you're OG. OG had an abductor strain for like 3 months. But yeah, Fiercey's here. Good morning, fam. Happy Sunday. Was in and out of the game yesterday, but I've read comments about the refs favoring the Kings. Is it true? But I'm glad we didn't completely get smacked and came back from a 22-point deficit. The refs were not very nice to us. They kind of played it tighter on our stifling defense. And yeah, fouls were getting handed out quickly on our side, for sure. For sure. It is what it is, but I can't blame the refs. We should have been able to play through that kind of stuff and still win. In fact, our chances were there. We were so close still, but there's certain executions at certain times that just didn't happen. The beginning of the game, at the end of the game, should have shut down Isaac Jones better and done more to close out the game. Shed and Walter, well, Walter wasn't there, to control the game to get us to the right outcome. And alas, it wasn't there. Isaac Jones could score at will and take over and just win the game for the Kings right at the end. Even though we were close. We were only down by 1 with like 2 minutes to go, but then they blew it up right in the last 2 minutes, and it became a 10-point win at the end. Yeah. Seymour saying hi to Eye Candy. And Fiercey saying AJ lost and playing. We had a better chance at winning, in my opinion, because I think that we would have. From the few snippets she saw, the Kings weren't that dominant. They were, though. Isaac Jones was dominating us. Let me look at his stat line real quick. We got to give him some shine on the other side. 13 of 17 from the field. That's just really good shooting. Really, really good shooting. 1 of 3 from 3, 9 of 11 at the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 turnovers, a plus 21 with 36 points and 30 minutes. He scored 36 and 30. Oh, man. See, nobody had an answer for him. We didn't slow him down. 13 of 17 is too high of a field goal percentage. So he dominated our team. He really did. And it's just how it is. It's just a tough game. We almost came back. That's right. That's right. Kareem's here. AJ didn't play because he was banged up a bit. Apparently, it's his ankle from 2 games ago. I heard it was his abductor, not his ankle, but who knows? Seymour saying I had 3 hours to myself driving, just venting. Yeah, I ended up just kind of playing a video game and just kind of zoning out for the rest of the night. And I kind of went to sleep early, honestly. I was tired after it. And I've been going to bed early and getting up early lately. I've been getting up at like 6 a.m. lately. It's really weird. I go to bed really early and get up really early these days. So Kareem saying Summer League needs to change the fouls to either 7 or leave it at 6. It's dumb to have 10. Could grace where teams could do a blitzkrieg, then all of a sudden have 4 less fouls in their pocket. These guys shouldn't be playing like they have unlimited fouls, though. I mean, I don't totally agree with Summer League doing that. I mean, they do that because these guys are so green. They might come out there and get fouls so quickly, like Chucky and Ulrich did last night. That they, if the Raptors want to see their players, they want to see them out on the court for a while. Well, they give them a leeway and say, yeah, you can have 10 fouls because you might foul out too early and we won't see you as much as we'd like to. But when the games are for something, they switch to the regular rules. 6 fouls, you're out. But yeah, it's not like our guys were overusing the fouls during the other games that they got in trouble this time. No, it's not like that. Shamshay needs to be playing where he's trying not to foul. Seriously. And he did not do a good job of that last night. He did not. Let's see. Fiercely saying, hi, Seymour. No worries. It's a learning process. We're building chemistry. Castleton should go, though. Yeah, that's true. Kareem saying, James Wade has had one of my favorite ejections ever. Told every ref they were shit, then shows great sportsmanship on shaking everyone's hand on the opposing side. Yeah, it was amazing. Honestly, James Wade, that's epic, man. That was kind of like the leaving and the Office Space is that scene where he's like, F you, you're cool, and then he leaves. Yeah, there was a little bit of that. There was a little bit of Fred VanVleet going off on John Conley and the rest of them that one time last year. Yeah, there was a little bit of that. It was pretty fun. I thought it was the most creative ejection I've ever seen. And the other team was kind of like, okay, yeah, we'll dap you. A lot of them know James Wade, and because they were they were chummy, and they were like, yeah, we'll dap you on the way out, James Wade. It's so funny. He was like dapping the timekeeper, dap everybody on his way out. It's hilarious, man. Hilarious. Fiercely saying, just came back from church, fam. Wishing you all a great week to come. Stay motivated, focused, and positive. Thank you, Fiercely. I appreciate that, MJ. And also Seymour. Yeah, let's get done early, man. I want to get done early. Let's do the team stats real quick. The Raptors did not shoot as well as the Kings. The Kings didn't shoot 50%. They shot 49%, which was pretty close. They ended up getting 2 more field goal attempts than us, so they worked a little harder. We did get 1 more 3 than them, but we shot a little bit worse at 3. The free throws, well, we missed 7 free throws, 70% at the free throw line. Yeah, it wasn't our worst free throw shooting, but we could have shot better. Rebounds, we got out-rebounded by 3 at the end, 37-34. We were beating them in the rebounding battle for most of the game, though, which is interesting. They came back and beat us on the rebounds. Assists to turnovers. This is where the big problems happen. We only caused them to have 20 turnovers with 23 assists. And we had 19 assists and we had 17 turnovers. So the assist to turnover ratio was similar for both teams. And we did not make our defense a difference in making it enough of a difference so that we could win this game. As I said, the fouls called was not too good. 32 fouls called on the Raptors. Well, only 21 fouls called on the Kings. But once again, we shot only 3 less free throws than them. And there were 3 technicals that they shot that were the 3 extra free throws. So I can't blame the refs, guys, even if it seemed like they were unfair. We're an aggressive defensive team. We're going to get more fouls called on us. And unfortunately, we didn't really kind of we had a couple players that got in foul trouble that were key. Jacoby Walter being the main one. That was the problem right there. Yeah. Yeah. Seymour saying, I need another Raptors jersey. Might go shopping 3 times Big Boa. Yeah. I mean, I don't know who you want to get right now. Maybe get a youngster. Get Colin Murray Boyles. Get right on front of that and get it before he even shows up. Get it right now. That's right. Let's see Raptors Reddit. What are they talking about there? They want us to put the goofy NBA paint logo on a regular Raptors jersey and wear them and on the court. No, let's not do this, guys. Let's not use children's art as our logo for our jerseys. That's not it, man. You guys are really into this NBA paint logo, man. Look at what you did, Raptors admin. You made this go crazy, man. You made this go crazy. Somebody on here is asking, did Raptors fans see T-Mac becoming what he became? This is a great question for me because I was there from the start with Tracy McGrady in the very beginning of the Raptors franchise. And yeah, I'm going to say this right now. I did see him becoming one of the best players in the league because he was a certain special talent at 18 years old when he came to Toronto with his lengthy body. In some ways, there were a lot of comparisons to Anthony Hardaway at that time with T Mac because he had a certain kind of passing and dribbling skill already coming in. And man, it's just that he was so young. He needed to learn the game and get to a certain point in his age that he would be seasoned. And alas, that happened after he left Toronto. But man, we messed up there. We wanted McGrady to stay here. We obviously loved him, but the bullshit about he couldn't be on the same team as Vince Carter was the thing that pushed him out. But I saw him being who he became. Yeah, because the raw talent of the guy with his skills at that body type, yeah, he was going to be something for sure. So, yeah, checking in with Raptors Reddit real quick there. Y'all, this summer, you guys might be painting things because it's the summertime and you may have to do some home improvements. You may have to do something like you built something, you want to paint it. Well, let me give you the straight goods on Canadian goods for paint. What paint companies should you buy if you're buying some paint to paint something this summer? If you want to support Canada and get Canadian companies and 100% Canadian paint, well, let me tell you who to go to. Cloverdale Paint is out of the West Coast, and they're coming more and more over into the East Coast here. They got places in Surrey and Calgary and Winnipeg, but they've also opened up facilities in Mississauga, London, and Oakville also. So if you want to buy Canadian paint, buy Cloverdale. They're one of the biggest brands in Canada. That's a good one. Beauty Tone is another one. They're the house brand of Home Hardware. So if you're at Home Hardware and you see Beauty Tone, that's a great paint for you to buy. Home Hardware is a fantastic hardware store to shop if you want to shop Canadian. And if you want to get Canadian paint, Beauty Tone is the brand at Home Hardware. Also, in Laval, they have MF Paint, is another Canadian-owned and manufactured paint out of Laval. So they're very, very big in Quebec. General Paint is under Cloverdale also, and they are out there. So if you see a brand called General Paint, that is a very strong Canadian brand, fully Canadian in the supply chain and the production, and they're very strong presence out west. UCP Paints is another one. It's the brand that is sold at Canadian Tire. If you buy UCP Paint at Canadian Tire, that is a great Canadian brand of paint. Select Tone Paints out of Toronto is another good Canadian paint. Premier Paint is also another Canadian Tire paint. So yeah, there's a couple of good choices here. You can stay away from the Benjamin Moore. You can stay away from the Bears, the Glidden, the Flood, all the American paints. They're up here. You don't need to buy them. Sherwin-Williams, no, that's not a good paint for you. None of those big names from down south. Dutch Boy, nah, horrible paint. Horrible paint for you to choose. So if you want paint, get Cloverdale, Beauty Tone, MF Paint, General Paint, UCP Paint, Select Tone Paint, Premier Paint, Denault Paint, Splendy Paint. Those are all great choices. They're Canadian paints made in Canada, support Canadian business. So yeah, think about your paint when you're going to paint this summer and try and get that 100% Canadian paint. That's right. We will help you with that. Beauty Tone. That's right. There you go. There you go. All right, let's see what else we got. Happy birthday to Will Solomon. Former Raptor Will Solomon is 47 today. Will Solomon played for the Raptors out of Connecticut. He went to Clemson. He played for the Raptors 39 games in the year of 2008, 2009. He started 9 of them, and he was on our team. He averaged 5 points per game. So happy birthday to Will Solomon, who also went overseas and played for a bunch of teams overseas and had a better European career in some ways. So former Raptor Will Solomon, happy birthday, 47th today on the birthday. Let's see. What else do we got? We did this classic card. And yeah, that's about it. Let's finish up, man. Who would you have kept, T-Mac or Carter, if I was the GM? I would have kept both of them. I would have been like, nah, let's just keep both of them. Shut up. You don't need to leave Tracy. Don't listen to these people. You're going to regret this someday, and you're going to wish you had stayed with your cousin. I would have done that. But alas, we are in a weird place because the power struggle at the top of our franchise was happening, where the people that cared about basketball, Isaiah Thomas and John Batove, were getting forced out by Alan Slate and Steve Stavro and Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment. And, when Isaiah left, Tracy McGrady wanted to leave then. It was like the same thing with Damon Stoudemire. Isaiah Thomas was such an important person the Raptors have in the beginning of their franchise. He was so important. And idiots up here in Canada who were hockey people didn't respect who Isaiah was and just how much a powerful presence he was. He was going to help us, but they didn't value that. And they cast him aside. They didn't even like him being an owner of the team. He had a percentage of the team that he owned, but they forced him out. And a lot of that I'll blame on white supremacy and fucking rich ass white people up here being dipshits and not wanting a black man from Detroit or from Chicago to come up here and be part owner of the Raptors. They don't like that. In some ways, there was racism in it. And in some ways, that pisses me off because Isaiah Thomas was a bona fide NBA person that brought a certain stature of respect with him. And they didn't understand that. And when Isaiah left, Tracy McGrady wanted to leave and Damon Stoudemire wanted to leave. And they didn't understand that. That's what I was worried about with this Masai thing. Is like Masai leaves. Maybe there's going to be some people around our team that are like, yeah, I would have been loyal to Masai if he's still here. But now he's gone. I'm out. Because we have a little bit of this in our history. Tracy McGrady was going to leave partly because Isaiah Thomas got fired. Then he had to leave. So that's part of it. Yeah, I don't know. Carter stabbed us in the back. We don't know an alternate universe where we choose McGrady and we let Carter go instead. That would have been interesting. Who knows? Maybe McGrady would have been way more successful and he would have never stabbed us in the back. Probably would have stabbed us in the back at some point, though. Who knows? Who knows? We'll never know. We'll never know. That's right. That's right. Wash your damn hands. Wayne Stan, morning Raptor Freaks. Fantastic summer league. Congrats to our young crew and their enthusiasm to learn. That's right. Overall, the summer league experience for the Raptors this year was very good. The best summer league that we've ever had in summer league history was in 2010. Summer league team led by DeMar DeRozan with Ed Davis and Sonny Weems went 5-0, the same record as the San Antonio Spurs that year. So there were two teams that were undefeated. They did not have a championship game, though. It's so stupid. They played right up until the Saturday, but they did not let the Spurs play the Raptors to determine the ultimate champion of that summer league. So we will never, ever know. But DeMar DeRozan, when he was 20 years old, led the Raptors summer league team to a 5-0 record, which is the absolute best record the Raptors have ever done in summer league. So know your history, Raptors fans. Raptors were 5-0 in 2010 under a rookie named DeMar DeRozan, who was 20 years old, with Sonny Weems and Ed Davis next to him. I don't know if he was a rookie. Actually, this might have been his second year at summer league. So, yeah, it's just so y'all know, that's what's up with that. All right, thanks for watching me today. I appreciate everybody. Thank you for putting up with me and my personal life and me letting it bleed over a little bit into the stream today. It is what it is. I love you, Adriana. I always will. And it is what it is. I appreciate you. If you can still be the commissioner of trivia, I love that. But I understand if you don't want to do it anymore. I understand that. Isaac, I love you too, man. You're an awesome person. I appreciate everybody. I'll see y'all tomorrow for a Monday Moment. We're going to be talking about Masai Ujiri tomorrow for sure. Yeah, I don't bring up Masai every chance I can. So Masai Ujiri will be talked about tomorrow on the Monday Moment. I'll be back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. in the morning. Raptor Freak out. Let's go, Raptors. Woo!